What is going on, YouTube? It's your favorite professor. It's Professor Die Hard. I got my coffee, I got my highlighters and my pens out, ready to hit up some research articles. Just kidding, not doing that today because I'm trying to be lazy. I'm also here with my buddy, again, Aries from Aries Gaming Productions. What's going on, Aries?
What's going on?
Yeah. So before we get started in this video, I wanted to, just do a quick little shout out to myself. And to the people who have subscribed to the channel these past couple years. And I say couple years because I just looked at my YouTube channel, and I am now at 31 subscribers. I just want to say thank you to all the people. Yeah, I know. I just want to say thank you to, everyone that's subscribed, that's come, at different times to come look at my videos. I'm more of like a YouTube streamer, not really. At some point I would love to do actual, full-on videos, but I do not have the time to do that. But I love doing the streams where, I can come in, do some videos and some gameplay, and then, Aries comes in. I think it's been a very interesting past couple of years that we have this method of just conveying our opinions and thoughts on the different nerdy culture and games and movies alike. And I just want to say thank you all for help me get to 31 subscribers. And if you're new to the channel, you're checking out this video, and in the present or in the future, definitely leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And definitely check out my buddy Aries from Aries Gaming Productions. He's always doing new stuff here and there. And we love to keep the conversation flowing. And if you have any questions or comments, just leave a comment on the stream or in the comments section below, and we'll definitely get back to it. So so this video we want to talk a little bit about Greedfall. Yesterday it was a great video. I'm still getting views and likes on it. I'm really excited about that. I haven't seen that much movement through the channel in a while, but we want to talk about some of the things that we're worried about with Greedfall. Now, as much as I am being a little bit of a little small fanboy right now, I am 110%. I feel really good about the game, but there are a few there are a few things that are just I don't know. I'm a little bit worried on. And since I started last time, Aries, do you want to start it off?
Yeah. So I was thinking about this when I went back and watched the trailer actually.
Yeah.
I watched it this morning, and after that there was basically, I think it was a GameSpot thing where it was like 14 things you need to know before you play Greedfall or something like that. They usually have them for any game that comes out. Like they'll have like a top 10 or top 14 things you need to know about the game.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them just seemed like it would be really bad if it didn't happen. And it's probably going to end up being I think we kind of touched a little bit on it yesterday, but I kind of just thought about it a little bit more with the 6 factions that are in the game. There are 6 of them, and each one of them is kind of 3 of them have to do with your actual skills. And so one is, kind of a mercenary group. I'm sure it's, kind of mainly based on physical
I
attacks.
actually looked it up the other day. I'm going to look at as you keep going. I'm going to talk about him in a second. So you continue.
There's a faction that focuses on magic and is more like it's like a religious cult essentially. Like they want to turn the local people to their own religion. Very similar to, if you look back in history, what the colonial movement did whenever they actually got to the New World.
Sure.
Back in early 16th century,
Mm-hmm.
even with colonies like St. Augustine, Jamestown coming in early 1600s. But even then, St. Augustine was around before then, so you actually had the Spanish doing it in Florida at the time. It's the oldest English, well, not oldest, but it's the oldest European settlement in the States.
Yeah, there's a lot of things to say about that, but yeah, we'll continue on.
So even when Columbus got here, 1492, or when he actually set sail, and he actually got over to what is kind of now Central America.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as they landed, they were like, "Oh, you guys have this weird religion. We're going to kill you immediately." And after they put them in chains, but. So you have that kind of cult, which that would be interesting if they actually do kind of have the more like, just flat out saying that more prejudiced part of the game.
So what's the negative you're saying? So
my thing is that if you go into the actual like the factions or whatever, are you just gonna actually just start killing all the rest of the factions? Or are you actually going to like some factions team up with others, or because if you're just picking one faction, you're wiping out everybody else. It's gonna feel a lot like Assassin's Creed 3 with like you being the Patriots, you're just wiping out some of the Templar stuff, and you just are choosing. I mean, because Assassin's Creed didn't really give you a choice, but in this game at least you had the choice of doing it. But I would feel like there's like a little bit missing there as far as the intricacies of the actual political part
Sure,
of that
sure.
timeline that they're going for. Now, if they do that, then I will be pleasantly surprised. If they don't, I'm going to feel like a little bit's missing from it.
So that's actually an interesting point. To start off my rebuttal to that, we're going to just mention what the factions are. So the first faction is called the Congregation of Merchants, and this is from their Wikipedia, a trading nation ruled by prince merchants. They use their vast riches to gather power and increase their wealth. You have the Bridge Alliance. They're always seeking to learn more about the world and those around them. This nation believes science can explain everything and knowledge is power. Well, just saying, I don't think science can explain trees moving and killing all your people. But, teach their own. The Coin Guard, the main guild of mercenaries on the old continent. Military companies, bodyguards, paid assassins, combat instructors, they are hired by all the nations and important persons for their combat skills. And that's where they're probably in the cutscene you hear, we'll show what gods are made of. That's probably what they're talking about, the Coin Guard. Then you have Thalim, which is a nation where magic users represent both religious and political powers, and their mission is to preach the good word and convert the islanders to their monotheist religion, which that's what they're called. They're called the Islanders, the people who are on the island. So now we know what they're actually called. I didn't know that. Then we have the Knots, the only guild of navigators that can cross the high sea. They prosper thanks to their travels, helping other factions to cross the waves. And then you have the Islander faction, and they are native to the island of Terre Frodre, I think I can't remember how it's pronounced. They are not a united faction, but all of them live in harmony with nature, which they consider sacred. Some of them seem to have an even deeper physical link to their environment. Wink, wink, nod, nod. That's the cure to what we talked about yesterday. $10. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Physical link to, and look at that. Deeper physical link to their environment, able to use elemental magic or call for creatures, which with colonialization of the island underway, they must choose to be friend or foe to the new arrivals. So my rebuttal is $10. I feel pretty confident in this. In Skyrim how like if you want to, you can join every single faction. You can, except like the Stormcloaks and Imperials. You can only choose one, or not, whatever. But like, I think what's going to end up happening is you're going to start off, and you're going to like try to befriend everybody. But then it's going to get to a point where no one can be friends, and then you have to decide like, okay, well, shoot, who's in the right and who's in the wrong here? And I feel like up to a certain point in the story is when you'll be able to be friends with everybody. Then at some point, that's not going to be the case. And I think there's like there's a menu if I remember correctly, there's a menu that says like, if you do a quest a certain way and you complete it, like that will make one faction happy, but another faction, like you get like minus so many points to that faction, so they start like to hate you. So it's kind of like that system, like like what Fallout New Vegas did. But yeah.
No, I can definitely see that happening though.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as like just actual factions, so that's probably one of my. I'm trying to go in least to greatest order right now. So that's one of my least, one of my lower concerns.
Okay,
so
sure.
I'm sure the story will be fine, but that would just be kind of an icing on the cake. But it would make me kind of it'd make me a little concerned about where they were going to go with the story if I actually start playing it. And like I actually start to like dive a little bit deeper into the lore and stuff of the land that you're actually in and stuff like that. That will take me a little bit out of it, not enough to where it's probably going to affect me in the game or affect my playthrough of the game, because I think I know what type of build I'm going to go for anyway. But that was my and this is another thing that I was going to say, which is been completely debunked now, thank God. But it was going to be the class system itself. What kind of class you could do. But it looks, from what they've actually shown from the gameplay now, after I thought that, has completely it's just completely destroy it. Like
Sure.
it's completely thrown it. My idea got thrown in the trash. So that's really good.
Where it would be like, you go and play a certain type of character, like in
Yeah,
Dragon Age. It's like
exactly.
you pick, yeah. No, I get that. I think in a way, having a more restrictive class system can inspire more walkthroughs of a game.
Yeah,
Just because, like, I
but
mean,
I don't
hey,
feel like
you can't have it all. If you had it all,
yeah,
that's what I feel like Fallout 4 kind of tripped up because it's just like, hey, Universal, you can do everything. I'm like, but it's just, I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, like,
Except this one, yeah, this one was just like this one feels like it is meant to have you branch off. Like
sure.
this one is meant for you to kind of explore everything you possibly can. Which, given that it's a game supposedly, kind of based on your exploration of the land, your communication with people, what kind of skills you are investing in, that gives you a
Hmm.
little bit more options for your path, then that is what it needs. Fallout 4 didn't really, it wasn't really meant for that. Fallout 4 was just basically, there was the three or whatever, three or four factions, and
Hmm.
you could choose different options, but again, at the end of the day, you were going to kill off, the other three. And
Yeah.
so
Someone
that's
tells me
what.
it's not going to go to that extent in this game,
No,
but maybe
I don't think
maybe
it
like one
will.
between one or two factions, it definitely will, and that's okay. But
Yeah.
as long as it's not like, hey, oh, you join our brotherhood, congratulations, kill them all, you know what I mean? Go kill.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is that from the SAO abridged? It's like,
Yeah.
that's right, Larry. Now kill them all, as you
Yeah.
can Lord.
Yeah.
But
That would be trash. But like but it would make sense though. I think at the same time too. Um, just
pacing,
be given the
the
time
pacing
period.
of
Yeah,
it.
given the pacing and the time period that you're actually in. So it would make sense.
Yeah, I was thinking about like this too. I mean, it's a new nation. Like I don't know if it's like everyone from this land that you guys are coming from went on the boats over here, or just a few of y'all went. I don't remember. But they're literally making new nations here. Which I'm about to go on and go to my next point. Since we've been on this point for a little bit. Okay, I've not been. Well, I've watched a little bit of gameplay. Nothing too, spoil or anything. Just like, just walking around towns and stuff. I have one big question mark going through my head. It's kind of empty. Some of the world,
Yeah.
it's looking like a very empty type game where it's like, hey, go to quest, go to quest, go to quest, go to quest, go to quest. That
Yeah. Is there going to be other stuff
is
that's
there
going to
going to
pop
be
up?
other stuff in this game that keeps you entertained? Which, like, actually, there's also an arena I just found out about. There is an arena you can go to and fight in. I don't know if that
Yeah, that
includes
was
like. Sorry, what were you saying?
that would sick. That would sick. That if I'm thinking what they're going to end up doing with that,
Uh
if it'll
huh.
end up being just like you versus a bunch of people, or you versus kind of the
The
wilderness
monsters, or
beasts and
yeah.
the people with them. Because or it would just be an all-out brawl where like they just let a bunch of monsters loose, and you had to fight off the monster, and you had to fight off the people at the same time. That would be interesting because that would kind of remind me of because Oblivion had something like that, where you could go into the
Yeah.
Imperial arena and you could fight off. But you only did it pretty much one-on-one or 1v2.
Mm-hmm.
Where I would hope this one, they would be like, okay, well,
There was one that was 1v3. I remember that like it was yesterday. You have like the triplets elven sisters or
yeah,
something, or it's no. Ah, shoot, I can't remember. There was one that was like five freaking not they're not I don't know if they're Argonian prisoners, but it's like, all right, this is we're just giving a bunch of prisoners some swords, go fight them. I'm like, what? This is 1v5. Are you kidding me right now? But yeah, one of them
yeah.
was like one was a melee, one was a archer, and one was a mage. It says, okay, go fight him. It's like, bro, I'm like only level 2. What? Why are you doing this to me? God. But yeah. So shoot. Okay, here is another thing I'm a little bit worried about. What? Okay, and I'm gonna ask you this question. What was one of the worst things, not gameplay, but like one of the most annoying things about the Division's story in the first one?
Oh, vanilla like Division 1.
Yeah, the story. Like not like anything
I
getting, not the gameplay or anything, just like the story itself.
I remember the characters just weren't memorable.
Okay. Well, my biggest grievance for that game is you literally come in to clean up the mess. You didn't see anything that happened.
Hmm.
Like in the story of the Division, like this outbreak happens, and like you all come in. You know, you're trying to kill all these people that are destroying the city or whatever, but everyone's already dead. Like this disease that like has been going around is like I don't know if it's still there or not. I don't know, but like
Hmm.
you are seeing the aftermath of a problem versus like going in before the problem became a problem. You know what I'm saying? What I'm trying to make is
Yeah.
I hope that Greedfall doesn't is not a game where like you're coming in and like all the crap's already happened. I want to
Yeah.
see like where the problem wasn't a problem, and then like you're there witnessing what's going on, and like then you have to draw your conclusions and try to solve the problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to come in like at the end and clean up the mess. I want to be in the mess and before the mess.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, that's the one thing I hate about Division. It was you had oh, that game was such a disappointment. Like not just in other stuff, but like just the story. I mean, it was so dumb. It was very uninspired, and you come in like at the end of everything. So I don't know. I doubt that's going to happen. I really do doubt that's going to happen. But I'm just hoping that like I want to see the entire problem, and which I think we will. I think we will. I'm trying to think. Because like how the Wikipedia talks about the factions, like the Islander faction is like, hey, you know, they have to decide whether they're going to be friendly with the humans or oppose them. But also in the trailers, you're seeing like them come to arms in conflict. So it makes you wonder: are there different faction of the Islanders that are like saying, no, we should fight these suckers, or they're like, no, we shouldn't fight them? And
Hmm.
like, where does that companion that you have, who's actually an Islander, come into play? Is she like a part of like the more peaceful side of the Islanders that like, or she's trying to like help the rift between the two populations, or what's going to be going on? And my last thing is going back to the factions again. I don't know what to think about the Navigator faction. Like, what is their purpose? Like, honestly, just think about it. Like, let me just read it again. The Knots. The only guild of navigators that can cross the high sea. They prosper thanks to their travels, helping other factions to cross the waves. Are you telling me that are they going to be used for fast travel? Is that it? Are they just going to be used like are they going to be like a very minor faction you help out with at the beginning where you come in? Like what is this faction going to be doing? Because I seriously doubt there's multiple islands in this game. Like, you know what I mean? Like multiple like Witcher 3 had like different areas you can go to. I doubt that's the case here. It's a big map, but I'm saying, is there other locations you can go to other than for just fast travel between the big island?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that's what I'm a little bit worried about. I'm worried about weak factions, honestly. You can. It's kind of like this, studies show that everybody did this. Well, it's like, okay, well, let's look at your population here. Um, yeah, I have to make research article references. I'm a freaking professor, diehard on
Yeah.
YouTube. But like, that's something we actually talked about in our class the other day. You can. They say, hey, we have a lot of these factions going on here. They're all very lucrative, but the thing is, you go and play the game, and they're two quests over. Awesome, you're a best friend of the faction. All right, go to the next faction. We're done with nothing else to do here.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm hoping for a lucrative story with each faction, and I'm also hoping there's just stuff to do in the game. Back to my other point. I mean, Aries, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I would. That would leave probably a pretty bad taste in my mouth. After, I guess, just everything that we've been talking about the game too. It would. It would just seem like it would end up being something where I'd be like, okay, well, I don't know why they would have done that. Like, if you're at
Mm-hmm.
like, if you think you know the faction really good, or starting to know them really good, and then all of a sudden, you get maybe something like, let's say you do a quest for the natives, and um, they end up, sending you out to get rid of like a monster that's like plaguing their crops or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what you know after you complete the quest, yeah, it's going to be like you said. After the first or second quest, you're like, hey, you aren't so bad. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, well, yeah, we'll welcome you into our thing. We'll give you all the best gear. We'll give you all this. That would that just wouldn't feel right, uh, given like how they're kind of not trusting of people coming over, and some of them still have doubts, where maybe some others are, kind of doing that. Maybe there's, it would make more sense if there was like a conflict between like maybe like a village leader versus like the younger generation, or you know, the, something like that. That would make sense in the world that they're trying to create.
Oh, you're saying
They're
you
going
want the
for that.
quest to make sense to the faction, not like
Yes.
you don't want the navigators to be like, all right, we must go do battle with the what they're called, the coin guard. You must help us. Like, no, you're freaking
Yeah.
navigators. Why are you going to battle? That's not what you
Yeah,
do.
like
Yeah, that makes
that's not what
complete
you guys
sense.
do.
Yeah, that's not a quest that lines up with that. No, for sure.
Mm-mm.
And I swear, if the navigators like that are meant to be like on they help people across the waves in the ocean and stuff. I swear, if they're like, "Hey, navigators, we're gonna help you navigate the land," I'm like, okay, then you're not really okay. Whatever. Sorry, that's just my
Hmm.
thing. Yeah. What if I just thought about this? What if they had like ship battles or something? Would that not be cool? I don't know. I could see something like
Yeah.
and maybe this is actually in the game. You never know. You can never know. The different nations kind of go against each other, and then like you're seeing, the nation that has like magic and all that, they go against the nation that the coin guard or whatever. I don't know if that's actually a nation or not, but like they're the That's right. Sorry, they're not a nation. They're just mercenaries and assassins and crap.
Mm.
But like you're having like musket dudes and line infantry go up against like some mage users, and like they're all trying to fight for the heart of this island.
Hmm.
um, I'm just hoping that when it comes to the quest, when it comes to the story, it's not subpar, and I don't think it's going to be. For some reason, I have really high hopes for this game, and that could be a really bad thing, just because sometimes we go in with rose-colored glasses and we think a game's going to be amazing, and honestly it just disappoints. So it's kind of hard to, it's hard for me to talk about the negatives of this game. But anywho, I've also heard about there's some glitches with, sometimes some people can contort, and like some of graphical glitches, lip syncing problems. But one of the biggest
Hmm.
things I saw was just like the world is just so empty. And maybe they'll add like card games, or maybe they'll add like some other stuff you can do. Maybe you can buy a house, but from what I've heard, the first town that you enter, once you're done there, once you leave, you never go back or something.
Hmm.
I think it's called Celine. That's the first town or whatever. That's where you come in from. So I guess something happens where you get kind of exiled or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Any other things that you're worried about?
Yeah, just like a couple of these are probably more higher on my list.
Sure.
But the slowdown, the tactical view. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how often you'll be using that realistically. Um, it sounds really good, and I know they probably, from what it sounds like, they're kind of doing something similar to what the Final Fantasy VII remake is going to do, where it gives you kind of like that slow down tactical, thing that you kind of have in like a turn-based RPG, where like you're taking turns and you're using your hit stick to basically just whack the enemy until you're dead. And that it works in some cases. I don't know if it's going to work for this one. Because I feel like the only thing that we really saw you do is like if you're just getting rushed, I feel like you're just going to go to the menu, do the little stun thing, and that's the only thing you're going to use it for. I don't feel like you're really going to use it for any like really big tactical changes or anything like that. It just seems like it's just kind of there to be there, so you can just like pop open your menu, stun everything around you, and start killing them.
I
I
think
feel
I've
like
heard
that's
that
just
that's actually a spell. If I can stop saying for the past 5 seconds, I think
Mhm.
that's a spell or something that like mage users can use. I think
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
so.
so
That's a
they have like
spell.
a
Yeah, it makes you like freeze time or stasis for your enemies around you in a certain area of effect. And
yeah.
then you can do like another AOE move, like like a pound attack or something.
Hmm.
There's a lot of I like the dodges in the game. Have you seen the dodges where you're like,
Yeah,
doing backflips and like back rolls and crap? I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah, they
that's
look
kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
yeah, they look sick as fuck. Like even the one that the mages have, where like you disappear into like some black smoke thing, where
Yeah,
you can just like
yeah.
they did it. I think for the developer intro that they did for like IGN, where they were
Mm.
like, oh, if you upgrade your magic to a certain point, you
Oh, that's
get
right.
access
Yeah.
to a new dodge, and that dodge looks sick. I mean, it looks like some like Nightcrawler like ability shit that you could do, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
looks really. That's probably the only reason why I would ever like invest fully if I was doing a melee. But that's the only reason I think if I was doing a melee build that I would actually invest in the in the magic stuff because
Sure.
it looks like you have better mobility and it looks like you can like pop in and out of combat. Like you can pop out, escape the attack, use your dash to like pop back in and then hit them again. And if you're in trouble, you just double dash back and it looks like you're safe pretty much. And
Hmm.
so that's really neat. But another thing I had to worry about was becoming too overpowered early on in the game.
Okay. Yeah.
So, from what it looks like, I don't know if it was just the equipment that they had during what they were using. They probably did have them get a little bit more equipment, but during the show, what they had for they're just the showing for like the 14 minutes of gameplay they had,
Mm-hmm.
it looks like most of the creatures that you're encountering they just die. Like you run up to them, and not necessarily for your swords and stuff or for your weapons. It looks like magic is really overpowered in that game.
I've been seeing that. I too have honestly been seeing that. You know, and people say like, you know, the Fable games were amazing. Those games were easy as hell. Like those games were so easy. You just you spam square. I mean, God, you too can be broken like Darth Maul and Battlefront 2 if you just press the right trigger. I mean, look at any
Yeah.
of my streams. Like you know, you can dodge. You can have this. You can have the skill to like dodge Darth Maul and like you know, try to get out of his way. But like once you run out of that third dodge roll in an infiltrator, you're dead. Just
Yeah.
because like you know, it's not skill that killed me. It was spamming the right trigger or spamming your force powers. And don't get me wrong, you can use your force powers. That's cool. I mean, you're a Jedi, but like if you can't kill me with your saber and like I'm just dodging you. Anywho, sorry, I'm getting a little bit salty there. Anywho, yesterday was a rough day. Anywho,
Yeah.
but no, I've been seeing that too, and I'm also seeing that like flintlock pistols and melee weapons are just very underpowered.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they're doing anything.
No.
Like when they did the now, given one of the times they did show off the musket was against a mini boss.
Sure.
Apparently you can run across like multiple. There's like I think he said the developer said there's a pretty good amount of them. Like if you don't go out of your way, you won't find them. But if
Yeah.
you do go out of your way, you will find them.
Okay.
So I guess it makes sense. So I mean, you know, it's a mini boss. Like they're not supposed to be pushy. But yeah, but it just looks like
BUTT.
it just didn't do anything. Like it
Yeah, it
literally-
didn't. You're right. It did.
Yeah.
I'm just now noticing that. Yeah, dude, it totally didn't. And the only thing I could say to that is like, you know, maybe like the guy he was fighting. I think he was fighting like that tree monster. It looked like he was using like fire magic. So I mean, like you're
Yeah.
burning like a tree, so maybe it would do more damage. But that's still
It's
like,
super effective.
I mean, but
That's
still,
the
think
thing.
about it like that though. It's still really broken. I think there's also bombs in the game and poison and other crap you can do, which is really cool. But like again, like I do agree with you that like I am a little bit worried that like magic is a bit overpowered. And I haven't seen much melee combat against like other humans just yet, so I don't know what that's going to be like or entail. I don't know. Is there even a block ability in this game?
It looks like there's a parry.
Oh, that'd be
it looks
nice. I
'cause
like
one of the-
parries.
one of the time where it shows like if you go into like the little merchant camp and like you're trying to get in and you could choose to like kill all of them, it'll lower your standing, but you'll be able to get in and just kill them all. But it looked like one of the moves that the guy did while he had his like sword out, it was like a rapier, was that the guy tried to hit him, he blocks it and then does a thrust, and it looks like that's like a parry.
Oh, that's badass.
I don't know if it's just specific to that weapon, if it's just only rapiers.
I need a
I don't
weapon.
think it would be. Yeah, I need a weapon. But like, it feels like that weapon maybe particularly has a parry and none of the other weapons do. I hope not, because I mean, one of your party members has a fucking Zweihander. Like he has like a two-handed sword, and I hope you would just be able to block with the Zweihander and then push them back with like the huge sword. That would be a good parry for that.
Mm-hmm.
Or if, let's say if you have like a long sword, like not a rapier, not a Zweihander, but you have just a regular, kind of a medieval long sword or whatever it is.
Well, I've heard that the different
that,
weapons, like it starts off you have blades and you have blunt, and then you can do two-handed blades and two-handed blunt. And the blades are obviously for cutting people down, obviously, but like the blunts are used like if they have more armor, you can disintegrate their armor faster. But like I've seen plenty of games that do something similar, and I always go for swords. I always go for swords.
So the daggers to me look like better for.
Wait, they're daggers? I haven't seen the daggers. There's actually daggers?
Yeah, it's I think so. I think there's the chick, the native chick that's in your party. I think has daggers. So
I don't take those daggers. That's the type of character I always go for. Daggers.
Yeah, so
Greedfall.
I'm pretty sure that's in there. Even if it's just her, I guess whatever. That's fine. But I think if they do have them for your character, that'd be dope. Because I feel like what they're gonna do is, of course, they're gonna go kind of the old school RPG type of setting where if you have daggers, you're not going to be really. It's not for multiple units that you're going to fight. That's not what you're there for. You're kind of like DPS, like single target damage. If you have a sword, you're kind of a mix. You're just a regular long sword. You're kind of a mixture of getting rid of armor very well, but not too well. Not as much as like a Zweihander or maybe muskets or something like that. Because now, just talking about the muskets, yes, it didn't do a whole lot to its health. But that mini boss had like 7 shields. I'm guessing the shields are just representative of the armor, and it did take away a full armor from.
Yeah. So it could be like
maybe. So I think what it might be is just you use your musket to pretty much get rid of armor. I think that's going to be the kind of the main thing behind it.
I've heard there's a comment I saw that was like it was the same YouTuber that was doing streams on it, and the guy asked like how you liking the weapons and stuff. He was like, well, what I do is I use melee weapons for humans and I use guns for the monsters. And I'm like, well, the trailer doesn't. I don't know how to feel about it until I play it, but like it makes me wonder 2 things. One, are there going to be different types of bullets? Like anti-armor bullets versus like hollow point. Obviously, it's not going to be hollow point. They're freaking musket balls. Maybe not. But you know what I mean. It's also a fantasy type game. So would that be incorporated in some form or fashion?
Or if they have you, because you can craft too, from what I understand. So
you can. You can.
If you maybe if you have your technology and your magic up, maybe you can craft a special type of bullet, like a silver bullet.
That'd be dope. Find vampires and like just put a bullet in his heart. That'd be dope as crap.
So
like I want to have ammunition. I want it to be. I don't want like a gun to be like, oh, it's a power up, or like Dragon Age. It's like, okay, you have infinite arrows to shoot him. Like, damn, where do you get all these arrows from? God, it's like you just keep shooting a guy with arrows the entire time.
The magic quiver, yeah.
The infinite quiver of destruction. The infinite quiver of depression for your enemies. Literally, that's what it is, and I'm hoping that's not what the case is, because I like it to be a power up, but I also like it to have some measure of a level to it. You know what I mean? I want it to be able to be leveled. I don't want you to be broken and be able to pop off every 20 seconds a musket shot infinitely to kill an enemy. I want it to make sense. If you run out of musket shots, obviously you can't use your musket anymore. I've noticed that like I'm not seeing any reloading animations. I haven't seen any. Maybe I've missed it, but is there actually reloading at all? Are you just like reloading your pistol and is your wiener doing it when you put your pistol up? I mean, I don't. I mean, is that what's going on right now? I don't know.
That's what it looks like. Or there's probably maybe something where they may come up with like a machine. Like what would be better if your technology got so up where, because I know it says you can increase your magazine size, and I'm like, well, how is that possible?
Whoa! Say what? There's a magazine size?
That's what I heard. There's a magazine size. Maybe they have like a gun that has like 2 musket balls in like one of the guns, where you could fire 2 instead of just 1, but you sacrifice your reload speed. That would, something like that would make more sense, as opposed to just increasing the amount of bullets you can fire in your magazine and doing that, because it's a fucking musket. They didn't. There was no such thing as a magazine, and like there's literally
Roach calling the AC-130.
Like literally, like are we going to be calling it missile strikes on these fucking monsters? Like I don't it's fucking Call of Duty,
Oh
1700
my gosh.
edition.
This game would be something. Do you know what I would love is
Led
like
Zeppelin.
you know how like in some games they okay, for in the Assassin's Creed games or Fable, one of the editions of Fable 2, you can get the Master Chief armor set in the freaking beam sword. Like, what if you can get like a lightsaber or like a freaking Glock? You get like a freaking a Smith and Wesson. You know what I mean?
You get a Colt pistol with like all the silver bullets ever made, and you're just like, all right, we're set for the
Oh
rest of
my
this game.
gosh,
Shit.
I would just love it if from like Fallout New Vegas, you get like what's that gun that like you can summon, literally shoot an airstrike at somebody? The Elucid. Is that what it's called? Oh my gosh, dude! I would, or a laser gun. There you go. That I would just give that game a 10 out of 10 if that's what happened. God, freaking magazine size magazine. What magazines are you using? Like, I think the only magazine guns around that time period was like the Puckett gun. I think it was called the Puckett thing, but that was like kind of like the very first like chain gun or automatic musket back in the day. It was, I think, it was called the Puckett
Well,
rifle
you didn't
gun.
have, because look at it this way, like through technology, you didn't really have a automatically firing weapon until you had the Gatling gun.
Nope.
And if you've ever watched The Last Samurai, that was kind of one of the big uses of that.
Which I didn't realize how horribly inaccurate that movie is on a lot of things.
Oh yeah, but the one thing it does show is that the Gatling gun, well, it can
No one
do the
survives.
damage. Like you can see the damage that it does, but at the same time, it is historically known for jamming very badly.
Of course.
And so, because they didn't have a cooling system or anything like that, so you were just firing off rounds into the universe, and you just hope to hit something. Which, it was better for armies that lined up, It was for armies that were still in line.
Those armies learned
You
real
just
fast that
decimate.
lining up we're done with lining up. It's like we've been doing that type of warfare for way too long now. It's time to start actually getting our heads down in cover now. Just because why stand out in the open?
But you didn't actually see it until World War One.
Yeah,
That
sure.
type of tactic, because the good old the French and the British tried to do it, and the Germans demolished them.
Oh, we're talking about, dude. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. Okay, if you want to finish, that's your thought. You can. I had a really cool.
There's literally nothing else. They demolished them.
Yeah, well,
So-
here's the thing. I just realized that, like, I'm calling it right now. They're going to do a DLC, and you know what's going to happen? Whatever side that, like, conquers the island, whatever side it is, that side's going to fight a different nation from Europe that's, like, like, you're going to fight the British Empire. Like, think about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you start off, like, you're trying to, oh, dude, I'm telling you what, I should just be a writer for these people. I swear, I can come up with some really cool ideas. I'm not trying to be boastful. I think both of us can. Just give us, like, give us a pencil and a paper, and we
Give
got
us some
this crap.
resources, yeah.
No,
Give us some
seriously.
resources,
So
goddammit.
what you are seeing happening now is, you're colonizing the land, and maybe you're kind of seeing a lot of French and Indian stuff going on here. French and Indian War, Oh, that's actually kind of a cool little thing I just did there. French and Indian War. Well, think about, like, well, actually, no, that's what it would turn into. Like, whoever the sides were, they join, and boom, big battle. Yeah, French and Indian War. The DLC would be once that nation is, like, more or less, united. Then, like, they tell you, hey, by the way, we were only one nation that came over here. We're talking about, like, there's other nations that are dying too, and they're sending everything they got to take the cure that we finally found for our people.
Yeah.
And it is winner take all.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that would be badass. Like, I'm already really dude. Come on. Okay, whoever guys who are making Greedfall, hire us. Seriously, I'll drop out of college. I mean, I'm already did my bachelor's, but like, I'll drop out of my master's if I need to. If I got paid for this, I would do it, dude. I would happily do story stuff. God. But that would be interesting. And then like what would happen is whoever your romance option was with you know, whoever it was, get a new voice actor in there, and like, you know, your dad and your mom basically perish because of the war or something happens, and then you have to like lead whoever's side, because like maybe you're like the heir to the throne of like whoever the leader is of the unified nation, so you have to lead the charge against like the new invaders.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That would be cool. I'm all, and you
Yeah.
get to customize your character again, and you know, there differs different stuff. Maybe like it's going to be like so many years in the future, so like maybe the armors look a little bit different. Maybe they look a little bit less 16th century, more 17th century. You know what I'm saying? So maybe a little bit less armor, a little bit more refined, and you know, I'm just saying, like, I think there's a lot of cool
Sleeker
stuff.
looking, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I think there's a lot of cool things. The places you can go with DLC with this game, and that's what my biggest fear is they won't capitalize on it. They'll say, "Hey, we got the vanilla game out, we're done, let's move on." I'm like, "No! There's so many ideas you can do. There's so many cool things and directions you can take this. Don't give up too early." And that's what I'm hoping this game sells well, man. Even if like they need to do a couple of bug fixes to, you know, and some quality of life changes, which I think they'll do in a heartbeat. They seem like they're really passionate about this project, because you want to know why? It seems like they're actually going to release a game that's actually in good condition,
Or complete.
versus actually a complete game versus, you know, EA releasing shat and giving it to us in a nice little gift basket, you know. And that's the one thing that Aries and I, and actually another buddy of ours, we talked about it yesterday. I don't have any remorse for developers, or not even developers, but the people who send out the games, like EA, who send out unfinished products. I'm past that. So that's my other thing. I hope this game is complete. You know, bugs are going to be a problem, obviously, because every game has bugs. Witcher 3 had so many bugs, but like they fixed it and they dealt with it, and it was still a great game. Vanilla was amazing. So, but yeah, I think I can't really think of. Do you have anything else that you're worried about?
I think, I mean, for the most part, I think it'll probably end up just me being, you know, because we can speculate all we want to. It'll just end up being us actually playing through the game, I think, once we've actually played
Well,
enough
of course,
of it,
of course, of
actually
course.
be it. But I think just from kind of looking at it, that we'll probably end up at some point, kind of like asking ourselves, like, oh, okay, is this going to be it, or is this going to be, you know, or is there going to be something else to it? And
For sure.
if there's not, I feel like that's mainly going to be the only backslash we're going to get. If, you know, we play the game, we decide there's not enough in it, and that's after, you know, hours of playing the game.
So you're worried about
you know,
more of bang for your buck. That's what you're a little bit worried about.
Because you know, I mean, we kind of talked about it a little bit, a couple months ago, but it's got to the point now where we've just been so screwed constantly over the past
consistently,
couple years by games that have come out and that are not fully finished. Their vision is not fully there, and it takes them, you know, sometimes 2-3 years to actually get them back up to speed.
Yeah.
Example: Battlefront 2, No Man's Sky.
It took him what, 3 years, didn't it? Was it 3 years? When this game came out in 2016, didn't it, or 2017?
No Man's Sky came out 2016.
Oh god.
Then Battlefront 2 came out in 2017, so it took them kind of, you know, a culmination of almost really 2 years to kind of start fixing that. And
That's wow.
No Man's Sky, I didn't even bother to pick it back up just because it was just so shit when it came out. And you look no further than the Angry Joe review. Like that's the best review you're gonna find on it, because not only does he rip it a new asshole, he just talks about everything that should have been in the game when they told us that it was going to be in the game.
It was a lie. Yeah, it was a massive lie.
And that's the only thing I'm worried about, just games whenever I either do a pre-order now or when I do that. So that's really one of my worries, is that you know, we're gonna get the game, we're gonna be like, oh man, we're gonna be able to do all this stuff, and then when we play the game, you know, 10-20 hours in, we're gonna be like, oh,
and in their defense, I will say this: No Man's Sky sold all their trailers, all their stuff they talked about this game. You know, Sean Murray, excuse me. I don't know why I said Sean Mendes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He went on like these talk shows, and because of himself and the trailers that their developers made, they overhyped that game to hell. Like to hell and back. They said that this game was going to have a million different things. And that's on them. Greedfall really hasn't done that. It's been very minuscule. It's been very reserved.
It's almost quiet.
In a way, you know, I'll give you that. Sure. No, I mean, it's one of the best trailers. If you have not seen the new trailer that came out, it's on IGN. It's on the PlayStation YouTube channel. It's about a minute and a half long. It is. Aries, tell them how good the trailer is.
Trailer's fantastic. Yeah.
It's phenomenal, and you're just wondering to yourself, why the booty stank was that not there the entire time? Like seriously, why wasn't it there? Because it's a great. well, damn it, Bobby. But like seriously, that trailer. why wasn't it there? I like how we keep talking over. Yeah. I watched the video yesterday. There's that one that we just kept talking over each other. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, can't do like a fucking sentence. Yeah.
But no, that trailer. That trailer slaps, and like, you know, they've been very quiet of this game coming out. Like not a lot of people do. If you go on, if you look up Greedfall right now, let's see, let me do it again real fast. So Greedfall. I'm on my phone right now, so you really can't see it. I wish I had, like, you know, I wish I was just on a computer so I can show it. Gaming Bolt, 14 things you need to know before you buy. Only 174,000 views on it. Greedfall on IGN, only 391,000. That's not a lot. Greedfall launch trailer for the PS4, only 98,000. Not even 100,000 people have watched it. This game has gone completely under the radar. There's not videos that's had over 1 million likes on this crap at all. I mean, Greedfall official trailer on games, another IGN video, 254,000. So what you are seeing is this game, either because they don't have enough money to like go big with the budgeting, because I mean, think about it. I mean, it's not a AAA game, it's a AA game. If that's the right terminology to use there, but like I don't know if they even have enough money to market the game. Honestly, so that's probably why you're not seeing much of marketing on TV and other, you know, methods of media. So I don't know. It has been quiet, but I do say that because of their quietness, they are more reserved, and like, you know, this game will either go from from small audience to like, what the crap, pick up this game now, to like, oh, it's small, okay, well, not many people know about it, so it'll stay small. Which I'm hoping that's not what happens. I really hope, because like, if a game like this does well, we get more games like it. That's what we want. We want more innovation. We want more of types of games that like go against the status quo, that do new things, that doesn't steer to the same time period of futuristic or really old. You know what I'm saying? Not really. I wouldn't say really old. I haven't seen really old. I mean, other than like Assassin's Creed Odyssey and the other one with Bayek from whatever, the Egyptian one, which that was a good game. I liked both those games. I haven't finished Odyssey yet because it's such a massive game. Good God, that's too long of a game, in my opinion. Yeah. Odyssey's way too long. That's just me. People can argue that all they want. There's a lot of things to do in it, which is cool, ship warfare and all that. But anywho, in terms of negatives, that's all I really have to say. What about you?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and again, you know, I mean, we won't really know how everything's going to play out until.
Sure, we're not like, we don't know any. We're just, this is all conjecture. All just, we're throwing it out there. We're giving this to you we want y'all to think about it. I think that this team should be supported. I think this game, just on the idea of itself, what it's doing and where it's drawn its inspiration from previous successful titles, I think that it deserves a pre-order. I think a hesitant pre-order, I'll say that, just because you just don't know, because they've made other games that are just not amazing. But so far, I mean, I've seen people on YouTube that have the game and they're saying it's 8 out of 10. So I mean, that's not bad. That's a solid score, honestly. I mean, do I think it's going to be an 8 out of 10 game? I think 7 to an 8 out of 10 is what I'm kind of hoping for. I don't think it's going to be a 10 out of 10. That's just me. It may be like a 10 out of 10 and like maybe, I don't know, story or something, but like I don't know for overall. I mean, what are you like? And here's what we can do. And Aries, if you want to do this, we can. We can. I'll probably be doing a walkthrough on it. But also, you gotta understand, I'm also working on my master's right now, and maybe do PhD later. Who knows? But then I can actually be called a professor. That'd be hilarious. If that actually happens. I'll never be able to show my face though, because if I do, then I'll get fired probably. Especially all the language I use. Rip. So I had to like come up with like a logo or like a face mask that I can wear if we start, doing live streams and having our faces in the videos. We can talk about that in a second. But yeah, so I'm going to be busy this week. So I'm going to definitely try my best to, stream as much as I can. I'll probably stay up and play some and, get that stream out there because I really want to show y'all some. But I may not do an entire walkthrough of it. It just depends because usually I'm pretty bad about consistently doing an entire walkthrough. So it just depends on my schedule and stuff because I know people want to see that as much as they can. So we'll have to see. But that's all I really have to say about it. I'm excited. I think the potential of it's there, and I think that there are some things to be a little bit nervous about. We talked about the things that we're excited about. Now we're talking about the things we're worried about. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and ring that bell just so you get more notifications when we're doing stuff. And also, please check out my boy Aries from Aries Gaming Productions. Literally, we're doing videos all the time, and we're probably going to do another stream here soon on Battlefront 2. Probably after we get some food because I'm starving. Yeah, so come check out the channels. Leave a comment if you want us to answer a question. I would love to get back to you on stuff. And if you have any ideas for future videos or other games you want us to talk about or cover. I think that once we both finish Greedfall, or if we do finish Greedfall, we will do a video of a review on it. And I think that'd be really cool if we did a review. Just to kind of get our thoughts about the game after we complete it and see what it could have done better and where it's at. And if it actually does warrant you buying it. So yeah, anything else you want to say, Aries?
No, tune into the stream we're probably gonna do here in a little bit, and just for some Battlefront 2 gameplay, we're gonna be fooling around with that shenanigan a little bit here in a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, later on tonight, probably after we get through that stream, I'll probably end up doing I never actually did a Dissidia review on the DLC that came out, like all the DLC that came out. So I kind of want to go over some of my thoughts on that game, and because there was a Tifa DLC that came out, me and Dive played with a little bit. It's probably like at least a month ago or something like that. We ended up playing it, and so go over some of that. I did it with Warframe, just talking about some of the characters or some of the Warframes that I thought were good. As far as like the new season, I don't know if Dissidia will get another season. They're supposed to be doing at least, I think they said a couple more DLC for that game, because I am a big Dissidia fan. But I'll probably end up doing like a pretty short one on that, just because I know which characters. I've been playing that game for a long time. I know which characters are trash, and I know which characters are godlike. And,
Spoiler alert.
Just from if you've ever seen any of our streams on it, you can probably figure out just by watching who we're playing with who is really god tier in that game, I think. But again, it's a team-based game, so it gets a little bit kind of just depending on who your team is, everything like that. But that's pretty much all I've got. So just stay tuned for our next stream.
Yeah, guys, it'll probably be on his channel because we have to mix it up in here and there. So go check him out. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Come check us out. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And this is your favorite professor. Study hard, and check you guys later. Deuces.